Get ready for some real, relatable, and motivational conversations with podcast host Angela ALOVE Lewis. Join her and her guests as they empower you to deal with the inner you so you can heal, believe, and lead yourself to the life of your dreams. It's time to take the limits off and experience true InnerVation. Let's get to it.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to my brand new podcast, InnerVation, motivating you from the inside out. My name is Angela ALOVE Lewis, and I'm so excited to be able to come to you each and every week to share with you some of the amazing things I've done to help me get through life myself. But I'm also going to bring some amazing guests who are going to share their tips, their tools, their strategies that have helped them in business, in life, help them to maybe heal from some of the things that have been holding them back, and then move forward to believe that they can achieve whatever is possible, to believe that they can achieve the life of their dreams. So with InnerVation, we want to kind of go back and not only inspire you and motivate you and encourage you, but also to help you to heal from the inside out so that you can feel good about yourself and you can make empowering decisions so that you can go out and live the life that you were purposed to live, to follow your dreams, to follow your passion. It's all about exploring and enjoying life to the fullest because I believe that that's what our birthright is. We were created to come in and display our greatness. And I believe each and every one of us has it. I think God has deposited so much in us, and we just need to tap into it. And sometimes life just gets in the way and it keeps us from seeing all of the amazing goodness that's inside of us. So before I go any further, let me just kind of share a little bit about who I am. I'm an empowerment speaker. I'm a visibility coach. I'm a publisher with A&M Publishing and Productions, where we also have a magazine called I Shine. And so I'm the editor-in-chief of I Shine magazine. And I am so excited for the opportunities I've got now to pursue my passion and to do what I love doing, to walk in my purpose, and to really tap in and help other people to do the exact same thing. But I remember a time where that's not really where I was at. And I was going through life and I was waking up in the morning after hitting snooze a couple of different times because I just wasn't looking forward to the day. I just wasn't looking forward to going to the same job each and every time. It wasn't fulfilling me. It wasn't giving me that passion that I needed because I felt like there was so much more. I don't know if you felt that way, but for me, it was like it was a job and I was going every day, but it just wasn't doing what it did when I first started. And I realized something was missing, but I had to tap into that from the inside. I had to stop looking at what other people were doing. I had to stop believing that this was all there was in life. Because I truly believe God has created each and every one of us to be amazing and to be great. One of my favorite poems is by Marianne Williamson. It's called Our Deepest Fear. And it says, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. And so, of course, it goes on to say a lot more than that, but that's so huge for me because I realized that I was playing small and I was kind of shrinking myself back and I wasn't really going all out. I really wasn't showing up for myself like I knew that I could. And so this podcast is really a great opportunity for me to share with the listeners, share with my audience and kind of talk to you about where you are in life and see if you're where you want to be. And if you're not, let's talk about it. Let's dig deep. Let's do the inner work. Let's get to a place where we are embracing some of the things that we've been through and using it to empower us to go to that next level. Let's deal with some of the baggage that we've suppressed so that we can heal from it. Because once you heal from it, then you can start believing that anything is possible. And if you believe anything is possible, then you can go out and lead yourself to the best life you can ever imagine. Because I know we all have dreams, we all have aspirations, but for some reason we push it to the side. We go through life, and before you know it, we're just not thriving, we're just surviving. And I think that, going through this pandemic is enough to wake us up to recognize and realize that there's so much more to life and we should go for it. It's time out for being mediocre. It's time out for being complacent, for playing small, for people pleasing, for doing the things that are keeping us in this rut. I know a lot of you kind of can feel what I'm talking about. I know some of you are there like, yes, yes, say that. You're talking to me. Exactly, because I was talking to myself at one point in time. I had to realize that I've got so much more to offer than what I was doing at that job. And I'm not knocking a job, don't get me wrong, because I know for some people, you have to do what works for you. And if a job is where it's at, then hey, high five. I don't discount that for anybody. There's people out here who are living their best lives, going to their jobs and they're enjoying it, they're getting paid well, they're able to do exactly what they want to do. That's what they have aspired to, and that's okay. But for me, I knew that it was more. I knew that I wanted to go out and impact and influence the masses. I wanted to reach many people, and share with them the things that I've learned that have helped me. And this podcast is just one of the many ways that I can do it. So I hope that you can tune in with me. I hope that you can show up for me as I show up for you, and bring some amazing people on for us to talk about, maybe how they have made some strides and some transformation in their business or even in their personal life. They have made them better. They have made them recognize that, hey, I only have one life to live, and I'm going to live it to the best of my ability. I'm not leaving anything on the table. When I leave, I want to know that I've done every single thing. I've used every single gift, every single talent. I've came and I've conquered, right? I went out and I've experienced life. I've done some things that have been amazing. I've met some incredible people. I've made some wonderful connections. And that just makes life so much better. I believe that we all are meant to shine. We're all meant to be magnificent. God created us to be masterpieces. And because of that, it's time for us to really go out here and figure out what it is we want to do in life. It's time for us to overcome the fear and take the limits off so that we can go out and explore what's really great for us. But at the end of the day, we also have to define what those wins for us look like. What is success? What does success look like to you? Because for some, success can be just a mother who is in at the house, taking care of her children, who's that soccer mom who's picking up her kids and taking them to practice, who's at the house baking cookies and fixing dinner and being amazing at it, who can, when her husband comes home, is able to sit down and talk to him about how his day was, and she enjoys it and it makes her feel great. And that's amazing, because if that's your goal in life and that's what success looks like for you, then go for it and be the best doggone mom and wife that you can be. And don't let anybody tell you that you should do anything different, because that's your success, that's your life, that's your vision. But for those people who want to go out and be the CEO of a corporation, then that's amazing too. Position yourself, get the education you need and the knowledge that you need to develop your skill sets so that you can go out and be a phenomenal CEO. And for those who want to be entrepreneurs, who want to do their own thing and be their own boss, then listen, go for it. Don't listen to the people who tell you to play it safe. Take that risk, go out and invest in you. And it's okay. Because I tell you what, for some people, we're going to fail. Actually, for everybody, you're going to fail at something in life. But again, don't be afraid of failure, because failure is giving you what you need to learn the lessons to become even better. See, look at failure as opportunities to become better, to become wiser and stronger, to give you the increased knowledge you need to make better decisions and choices, so that your next opportunity, the next time you go out and do it, you're going to be that much closer to what your level of success looks like. See, when I look back and you hear stories about Albert Einstein and Thomas Edison or even Michael Jordan, all of them didn't start out great. They had a lot of trials and errors and a lot of failures in life before they got to where they are in history as being one of the greatest to do what they've done. And I think each one of us can do that. But we have to believe in ourselves enough to keep going and keep pushing, even when we fail. We have to understand that the only limits in life are the limits we impose upon ourselves. And what I've come to find out is that it really only boils down to three different things. For most of us, we have self limiting beliefs. Yeah, when you think about it, you go back to your childhood and you think about, how do I think about money? Or what made me believe that I couldn't do this? When you're a child, you're fearless. When you're a child, you think you can do everything. You don't even want to hear somebody tell you no because you're like, why not? I can do this, right? We need to get back to that childlike fearlessness where we just go out and do it because we want to. When we're not worried about what other people say or think or what how they're going to feel about us, we just go out and make it happen. But society, the world comes in and they chastise us and tell us that, hey, don't do that because you're going to hurt yourself. Or, yeah, that's not very smart. You're not going to like what's going to happen if you do that. But I challenge you to go out and take risk and invest in yourself and do the things that make you happy, because at the end of the day, God has already deposited everything into us. All we have to do is tap into it. All we have to do is figure out what that passion and that purpose is for our lives and then just go for it. This podcast is really about helping you to motivate yourself from the inside out. If you can motivate you, then you become unstoppable. I know that there's opportunities, of course, for other people to motivate you. But when you motivate yourself from the inside, the motivation you get from other people, you will take that as fuel and you will allow it to get you to where you want to be, because not only are they motivating you, but you're internally motivating yourself. You're not allowing self limiting beliefs to keep you down, to dictate how far you can go. You've taken the limits off and you know that you can go as far as you want to go. See, self limiting beliefs will have you thinking that you don't belong at the table, or have you thinking that they're never going to give you a job, or have you thinking that you're never going to get married, or you're always going to be poor, or a myriad of multitude of things that we tell ourselves. When you have self limiting beliefs, you keep yourself in a box, but you can color outside of the lines. A good friend of mine, she says her mantra is, you don't have to stay there. And you absolutely don't. Who says that you have to be broke the rest of your life? Who says that you have to stay at the job that you're in? Who says that you're never going to be anything? Who said that? And why do you believe it? See, it's time to change the narrative. It's time to change how we see ourselves and what we believe about ourselves. It's time to wake up and go for it. Show up for yourself and position yourself to do exactly what it is that you believe that you can do. It's possible, and you should believe it's possible. And don't let anything stand in your way of letting it happen. But in addition to self limiting beliefs, another thing we do is self sabotaging behaviors. See, self sabotaging behaviors show up in the form of you having the opportunity to apply for a job and deciding at the last minute, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to show up for the interview. Or no, I'm not going to apply for it. Or let somebody talk you out of it. Or you wind up being late. Or you do things that, position you to where you could be moving forward, but instead of moving 3 steps forward, you're pushing yourself 5 steps back. We've all experienced self sabotaging behaviors where you should be doing something and for whatever reason you procrastinate, and then you put yourself in a hole and you're fighting to get out, and you never see yourself. It feels like there's no light at the end of the tunnel because you're buried in debt, or you feel like you can't just make it happen. With the self-sabotaging behaviors, you're thinking like, okay, I want to lose weight, but then I just don't have the discipline. So I go back and, I start eating sweets or breads or whatever it is that keeps you from losing the weight that you desire. You lapse back into those habits, but that's self-sabotaging behavior. And then on top of that, we have negative self-talk. We tell ourselves before anybody else can that we can't do it. I'm not smart enough. I'm too old. I don't have enough money. Nobody's going to choose me. Yeah, you say a lot of things. You look in the mirror and you don't see the amazing, wonderful, fabulous person you are. All you see is your flaws, and you talk down to yourself and you say, yeah, yeah, I don't look good today. Yeah, nobody's going to choose me today. We say those things to ourselves and then we start believing it. But I want to challenge us. Motivate yourself from the inside out and start switching that thing around. Because if you notice what I've just said about the three things that really keep us where we are, that keep us in that rut, that keep us being mediocre, the three things all has self in it. And a lot of times you hear people blaming other people as to why they're not where they want to be in life. How maybe your mother wasn't there for you, or maybe your father wasn't there, or maybe your ex-husband, held you back, or maybe if it wasn't for the kids, you could do X, Y, and Z, or, you made sacrifices. So it kept you where you are. But at the end of the day, when you think about it, your self-limiting beliefs have to do with self. Your self-sabotaging behaviors have to do with self, and your negative self-talk, it has to do with self. So if we can get past self, if we can start dealing with the inner us, the inner me, not the enemy, but the inner me, if we can start dealing with that and check it and get disciplined and get focused and get to believing that we are amazing. If you haven't checked that poem out from Marianne Williamson, Our Deepest Fear, read it. Read it and allow it to encourage you and inspire you and motivate you to no longer play small. Who are you to say that you're not beautiful or amazing? You're a child of God. I'm kind of sort of paraphrasing it, but we're supposed to shine. We're supposed to be out here shining so that other people will feel permission to shine too. And if you go out here and shine and you walk and you operate in your own lane and be the best you that you can be, doing what you're destined to be, that other people are going to see you and they're going to get the confidence to shine as well. Imagine how life would be if all of us were out here walking in prosperity and abundance and wealth, not just in financial, but in every aspect of life, mentally, physically, emotionally, financially, in relationships, in business. It can happen. It's possible. You've got to switch the paradigm, shift it. In 2020, I think, we were talking about pivoting because we were dealing with the pandemic. So, it was a big year to kind of pivot because for a lot of us, we had to work from home. For some people, you even got furloughed. Other people decide to pivot and change careers. And for me, that's kind of sort of what happened, how I was able to get into the publishing field, how I became an author, how I started to really step into being an empowerment speaker because I decided that I was tired of being at the same place, doing the same thing, and it was no longer serving me. I made a decision. And that's really what it all boils down to. Life is about choices, and we have to make decisions. We have to be in charge of our life. And it starts with the inner you. We have to believe in who we are, even when nobody else does. You have to bet on you, even when no one else will. When you get to a point where you know without a shadow of a doubt that I deserve every single thing that I am capable of achieving, and I'm not going to apologize for it. I'm not going to wait any longer. I'm not going to sit back. I'm going to go for it. It's not just other people who get lucky breaks. Trust and believe they've worked for it. They've put in the time. They've done what other people don't want to do. But I want you, if you're listening to this podcast, to recognize and to wake up and realize that it's your time. You deserve it. You're worth it. And if you don't believe it, look in that mirror and say positive affirmations every single day until you start to believe that you can have and be and do whatever it is you want. Look in that mirror and change the self-limiting beliefs and understand that just because you believed it doesn't mean it's so. You've got to switch how you think. You've got to go from a poverty mindset to an abundance mindset, a like mindset to an empowered mindset, to growth mindset. You got to switch how you think so that you can get rid of the self-limiting beliefs and go to beliefs that you can do everything. There's nothing stopping you. There are no limits unless you put them there. This is the time to stop the self-sabotaging behaviors. Show up for yourself and show up powerfully. Be there on time. Matter of fact, be before time. Stop procrastinating. Stop thinking you've got time to do it and just do it now. Like Nike says, just do it. When you switch those self-sabotaging behaviors and when you start operating in a manner that is designed to give you the focus and the discipline you need to achieve your goals, you will begin to see your life change. And that's what innovation is all about. It's motivating you from the inside out, motivating you for positive transformation, motivating you to get to that next level of whatever it is that you want to do in life. Go and pursue that passion. Go and operate and walk in your purpose. Go be great because we were designed to be great. We serve a great God. And if we are created in his likeness and image, then yes, we should be great as well. I was telling somebody the other day that, when you think about it, God didn't stop and say, oh, well, I'm just going to create the trees and the grass and the water and I'm just going to leave it at that. He didn't stop and say, okay, well, I'm just going to create birds, but forget about the fish in the sea. God did the most. He did extra. He went as far as to say it wasn't even good enough that I did all I did. I had to go and create man in my likeness and my image. He did extra. He did the most, right? And so if God did that and we're creating his likeness and his image, then why are we settling for less than? Why are we settling for being complacent and settling for mediocrity? If he was a God that went out and did extra, shouldn't we be extra as well? Shouldn't we go out and do the most and be absolutely magnificent in everything that we do? We should operate in excellence every single day because that's who we were created to be like. We have the ability to go out and do so much. There are no limits. I keep saying that because I want you to get it. My mantra for 2022 is no limits. There's nothing holding me back. I left my job to go and pursue my passion. And I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I'm loving waking up, building my empire. I'm loving waking up, helping other people to be the best them, to use their voices, to tell their stories, to become first time published authors, or to take a brand of being an author they already had and expand on it and make it even bigger. Someone who's in business who wants to get the visibility they need to have the credibility to become profitable in their business, to give people connections so they can go out here and collaborate with people and see exponential growth in their business. For the magazine to put people in it so that they can get exposure, that visibility that will help them to see increased levels so they can motivate and dominate in the marketplace. All those things happen, but it happened because I made a decision that I was no longer going to just sit there and keep hitting an alarm to go somewhere that I really didn't want to be. I made a decision. And was I afraid? Absolutely. But I did it afraid. I did it afraid, and I don't regret it. So I'm super glad that you guys listened to me. I know that this is the introduction. So hopefully you will tune in next week to even more because eventually I will bring on guests and we'll share some things, to help you to see things from a different perspective, help you to understand that you can do it. We're going to encourage you, but I want you to get motivated from the inside out because that's what's going to stick with you. That's what's really going to last. You can come in and listen every week, but every week determine in yourself that you're going to motivate yourself even after you get through listening to me. Even if you're listening right now, say, I know that's right. It's time for me to do better. It's time for me to have better. It's time for me to get more. It's time for me to go for it. Even as you're saying that, I don't want you to get home later on after listening to this in the morning or whenever you choose to listen to it. If you listen at night and you wake up the next day and go right back into the same routine. No, it's time for a transformation. It's time for you to listen and to motivate, but it starts with you. You can get empowered, but empowerment starts with you. You've got to do it. It has to be an innervation, motivating you from the inside out. You have to tap in to what's already inside of you and pull it out. And it may hurt. It may cause you to deal with some things that you did not want to deal with, that you have pushed so far down, you almost forgot it even happened. But what you can pull out, what you can reveal, you can heal from. And so you got to do the work. And I'm going to be here with you every single step of the way, cheering you on and encouraging you to keep going for it. Because once you do that, the sky is the limit. There's no more holding you back, there's nothing else keeping you down. And so, again, tune in, like this podcast, share it with some people, let them know we are here and we are going to be bringing it every single week because I'm telling you, we deserve to be living our best life. If life is short, then we need to experience the best it has to offer while we're here to experience it. Let everybody know to join us here on the podcast. You can follow me on my website. It's www.IamAngelaLewis.com. Again, that is IamAngelaLewis.com. Follow me on social media at IamAngelaLewis.com. But more than anything, like this podcast, help me to help it grow so that we can reach even more people. Because you guys know there's nothing like having someone to speak life into you, having someone to believe in you, even when you don't believe in yourself. And knowing that at some point we're going to make it happen and we're going to get you there and we're going to help you to see you in the best possible light to where you're in that mirror looking at yourself like, yes, I got it going on today. Yes, I know they can't help but choose me today. I want you to have that kind of positivity and power in your life. I want you to have belief systems that already know that you're a winner and nothing or nobody can bring you down. I want you to have positive self-talk with affirmations that encourage you to put one foot in front of the other and go for what you know and don't stop until you get it. To stop the self-sabotaging behaviors. Because again, it's those three things. Think about it. Maybe write down some of the things that have been holding you back, some of the things that you believed that you want to change, some of the things that you've been saying to yourself. And when you catch yourself saying it, now you know to stop it and replace it with something positive that's going to motivate you from the inside out. I'm telling you, it's time to wake up that sleeping giant inside of you. It's time to wake him or her up and let them know, put them on notice that, listen, we are here and we're never going back. I've got too much life to live. It's time for me to enjoy it. It's time for me to go out and be brilliant and gorgeous and fabulous and magnificent. It's time for me to do it. My time is now. And I'm not going to apologize to anybody else for it. So again, I'm looking forward to seeing you all next week. Thank you so much for joining the introductory podcast edition of InnerVation, motivating you from the inside out. I am your host, Angela Lewis. I look forward to seeing you next week. You guys have a phenomenal, phenomenal day. Bye.